Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Ottawa Senators Outlook. I am your host, Jack. This is my Ottawa Senators off-season cheat sheet. I have 5 topics that I want to go over in no particular order that could determine what happens with Ottawa's season next year. So let's get right into it. I'm going to start with the first one, probably the most important one of them all. What will Ottawa do with the 7th pick in the draft? Are they going to keep it and draft, a young prospect? Or are they going to use it to draft a player? Or are they going to trade it for a position player? And we'll get to that in just a second. But, trading it depends on which player it is. Are we going to trade for a player like, somebody that is going to be almost a face of a franchise? If that's the case, trade the pick. But if it's somebody that's not worth a draft pick, then keep it and draft, young prospect and build by the draft, which is pretty much what Pierre Dorian's been doing. But could this year be different? We'll have to see. And then the second one, and probably the biggest one too, are we going to trade for Kevin Fiala? So I have a mock trade for you of what I think we will do. Minnesota will get Eric Brandstrom. Matt Murray, we'll get to him in a moment. Shane Pinto. Del Zotto, same thing. We'll get to him in a moment too with Matt Murray. And that we can trade the 7th pick for. Ottawa gets Kevin Fiala, and then possibly a future consideration, maybe like a draft pick or something like that. But I'm not 100% sure if it's going to be worth another, small draft pick or something like that. But I think this is kind of an easy one to trade the 7th pick for Fiala. I think there's only 2 teams that have really good chances at landing Kevin Fiala, probably the best 2 chances. Ottawa is one of those 2 teams, and I think the second one that has that great chance is the New Jersey Devils. But they're in a pickle because they have the 2nd pick in the draft. So if they wanted to get Kevin Fiala, which they're very interested as well, are they going to trade the 7th pick or the 2nd pick, or are they going to keep it? That's where it's tough because, top 2, that's a draft pick you really, really want to keep and draft a young superstar that's eligible for the draft. So that's going to be an interesting question for the New Jersey Devils. Ottawa, a very high pick, 7th overall, but compared to the 2nd, it's not that high. So it makes sense for at least Ottawa to trade their 7th pick for Kevin Fiala or put that in an offer deal. And then Eric Brandstrom, he's in the middle of the NHL and the AHL with the Belleville Senators. Shane Pinto, we haven't seen a lot of him yet. He got drafted 32nd overall a couple years ago. Del Zotto, we signed him. He got sent to the waivers, at least most of the time. Matt Murray, goaltender, and then, our 7th pick. And Kevin Fiala, who's like the stud on Minnesota, it doesn't seem like he's going to re-sign there after what we've, heard and everything. So that's going to be an interesting question. What will we offer to Minnesota to try to get Kevin Fiala? And now a third one. This is a bit of a hot take, but I heard this rumor come out. Can Ottawa afford to sign Nazem Kadri? So I think the big question before all of this is Joe Sakic going to try to re-sign Kadri? If not, there's a hot take saying, does he want to play closer to home? And the 2 teams closer to home are the Ottawa Senators and the Montreal Canadiens. So that's where it gets interesting, at least in my opinion. Kadri, I would think he'd want to sign with the Colorado Avalanche if Colorado does not win the Stanley Cup this year. But if not, who knows? Maybe he'll want to get closer to home. And it depends on if he wants to get paid as well, which I would pretty much think he wants to get paid. I think he's a very great, he has a lot of talent. So does Colorado want to keep that? But if they can't afford it, that's where the Ottawa rumors are probably going to come in. So it all depends on if Joe Sakic wants to re-sign Nazem Kadri. If Kadri and the front office of Colorado can't get a deal done, then the rumors are going to start to come in. But for now, I'm not sold on this. I would pretty much expect him to re-sign with Colorado. But if not, then I think Ottawa might want to make a big push. Montreal Canadiens, same thing. And then number 4, can we sign/trade for Claude Giroux? Now, I'm going to talk about the Florida Panthers in a sense because this affects Florida big time. Because they had unbelievable talent up and down the lineup. This was like the Los Angeles Rams winning the Super Bowl earlier in the year. That was their all-in year. This was the Florida Panthers all-in year, and they couldn't get it done. They're over the cap, and a lot of those players won't be able to re-sign because and everything. And I say it was their all-in year because they only have a second-round draft pick, no first, until 2025. So I think if Florida wanted to win it, this was their year. They can't afford to re-sign all those players. So, Claude Giroux, does he want to win a Stanley Cup or go straight to Ottawa? I'm staying with my prediction. You can go back to my first episode of taking notes when the rumor first came out of Claude Giroux to Ottawa. I still believe he will want to win a Stanley Cup before he comes. I'm staying with that pick, so I think it would have made much more sense for him to come to Ottawa if Florida won the Stanley Cup, but they're eliminated, so I think he's going to want to sign with a contender team and then maybe go to Ottawa, but we'll see. And then the big question that's floating around in Ottawa right now, will we trade Matt Murray? So I have two possible destinations. The first one is the Minnesota Wild. This is why I got to him in a second in that Kevin Fiala rumor. So, like I said, I'm going to pull up that mock trade again. So you have Matt Murray in here. Got Delzato, Brandstrom, everything. So, if we wanted to get Kevin Fiala, could Matt Murray be in that package to Minnesota? Same with Eric Brandstrom, Delzato, Pinto, and then probably getting Kevin Fiala. But I'm going to mainly talk about the second possible destination because I think it makes a little bit more sense, and it's a team that's really interested in Matt Murray. I'm going to talk about our rival close to home, the Toronto Maple Leafs. So this was a rumor that I saw on Hot Take Hockey. I saw him make the video about this. This is the rumor that came out here, but I do not agree with this rumor here, but I'm just going to talk about it. So, Michael Delzato, which we mentioned, Philip Gustafson, got Matt Murray, we get $2 million retained, and then that 2022 third-round pick from Boston. So we could, well, I'm not 100% sure on this one because I know for a fact Ottawa will not get rid of Philip Gustafson. He also, I heard maybe if we don't get Kevin Fiala and he goes to another team like the New Jersey Devils or somebody else, and we have all those other players, if we wanted to, we can get rid of Delzato. I would not be surprised if we got rid of him. Maybe an Eric Brandstrom we could get rid of. I very well see that too. And the 2022 third round pick, that can go honestly either way. So, we're going to go to the Ottawa side of this. We got Peter Mrazek, Justin Holl, and Alex Kerfoot. This is my very strong opinion on this. I do not see this trade going at all. I mean, Peter Mrazek can turn it around in Ottawa. Matt Murray can turn it around in Toronto. I don't know. But I think Matt Murray is the better goaltender than Peter Mrazek. So if that were the case, you got to think of the Ottawa side of this trade, though. If Matt Murray was a better goaltender, would we trade him away for somebody not as good? I don't think so. And Justin Holl, listen, I know our defense isn't that good. I got to work on it. Justin Holl is nowhere near that problem solving. He cost a goal in Game 7 against the Tampa Bay Lightning when John Tavares at least almost had that game-tying goal, but, Justin Holl just does what Justin Holl does. So that would be a disgusting pickup by picking up Justin Holl. Absolutely disgusting. I would not accept that at all. But then got Alex Kerfoot, which, that's a fair pickup. I will take Kerfoot out of that. So I made a mock trade out of this. And this is what I said here. I'm not so sold about trading that third round pick from Boston. We could, but this is what I said. If Toronto is so desperate of getting Matt Murray, and Ottawa's very interested in Alex Kerfoot. To be quite honest, I would be. I think Kerfoot can be a good pickup for the Ottawa Senators, in my opinion. So this is my mock trade. Toronto would get Matt Murray, Delzato, and Brandstrom because I would not get rid of Philip Gustafson. That's just untouchable in my opinion. So we could get this is possible, Delzato and Eric Brandstrom. So we could get rid of those two with Matt Murray, which goes to Toronto, and Ottawa would get Alex Kerfoot. And then I put in a little bit of a hot take here just to make it a little realistic. Possible 2023 and or a 2024 draft pick. I'm thinking something like that. Maybe we could get rid of that third round pick from Boston, give that to Toronto, who knows. But I'm very well thinking that, that's a possible trade that we can do. So this is my cheat sheet for the Senators offseason. I hope you enjoyed. Give your thoughts in the comment section below. This is Jack from the Ottawa Senators Outlook, and go Sens go.